There are 4 rounds in this contest, the 6th of 9 here, which will, the marquee bout, the title bout, is Peter McNeely versus Larry Davis later on. But in that round, who would you give it to, Paulie? And before you make your decision, in the pros now, the new decision made by the commissioner is that they announce who the winner of the round is, which I like.
Yeah, I've been noticing that tonight, and you don't see that all the time. Of course, the judges do score it on their card per round, and I guess it's better that you do hear it from the announcer, because that makes it official not only with the judges but in everybody's mind as well. And so you can catch up at the end of 10 rounds knowing what happened in the 6th and in the 7th.
Yeah, that round they give to George Heckley. So now if the smelling salts, I saw them apply to Frank just a few moments ago. What is that? Is that ammonia, or what are they doing?
Probably a little ammonia, just sort of wake them up a little bit, from the blows they've taken. It sort of sharpens them up, and he gets them up a little bit, pick them up a little bit,
You just see Frank just turn into Mr. Hyde there, puts the face on. This is round 3 in this middleweight battle. Frank now with a quick combination against Heckley. George Heckley with his back to you. Chris Frank taking the fight now to Heckley in this 3rd round. He's down 2 rounds to Heckley. These punches just glancing off the head of Heckley.
Heckley seems to be laying back a little bit here, and Chris Frank is swinging from way out in left field right now. And now there goes some nice body punches by Heckley. Those are good punches right over us right now. There it is, left hook, right hand, left hook. That's good solid punches, beautiful punches in there.
Heckley just measuring them now, Paul. He's got a bullseye on him. Frank's got to do something instead of just being an everlast punching bag.
Yep, those punches are going to take a toll to Frank, so he has to punch back and get moving on it. Otherwise, there's a beautiful left hook to the body by Heckley, and I don't think Frank could take too much more than body punches.
Heckley's just moving Frank from his corner back to the neutral corner, back to his corner, back to the neutral corner. It has been Heckley as the aggressor in this fight. He's been the offensive fighter, just turning on his turret, it seems like, Paulie, and just firing away.
Yeah, you can see the agony now on Chris Frank's face from them body punches. You look at him now, his mouth is wide open. He's got agony and pain. Took some serious punches to the body. And now what Heckley has to do now is come upstairs, and which I mean by is come up to the head now. As soon as he gets his hands to drop, quick one to the head, and it'll be all over, I think.
And just like you said, he just went for that. He gunned for the head there, Paulie, and just missed. But that was a vicious... There's a right hand! And he stuns Frank.
Yep, Frank is feeling the effects of them punches. His hands are down, turning his head away from the opponent. Is a very bad sign that it's all over when the fighter starts looking the other way.
Frank valiantly staying in there with Heckley, who's had most of the going here. Frank has about 4 inches in height on Heckley, but that has not figured into this contest. Both fighters to the center of the ring. We're in the waning seconds of the 3rd round of this 4-round middleweight matchup. A pro bout, celebrity boxing on ABT. Now a mouthpiece goes. I believe it was lost by Chris Frank.
I don't know where that mouthpiece came from. Both of them have their mouths open right now, and can't see a mouthpiece in either one of them.
Now a vicious right hand by Heckley. Heckley with a combination backs Frank up into the neutral corner right in front of our cameraman. It is Frank who lost the mouthpiece.
Yeah, there's some great punches thrown by Heckley in there. Great body punch, good body puncher. Just has to throw a lot more of them and stay on top of his opponent. He's backing off after he lands some good solid punches. If he stays on top of the opponent, he's going to be able to take him right out of there.
And at the end of the round, there was I don't know if that was a low blow, Paulie. Was it a blow after the bell? But it looked like a vicious uppercut thrown by Chris Frank. And believe me, Heckley has just put that on his bill. He'll have to pay for that later.
Yep, I think the referee just gave a flag warning there, and Heckley just shaked it off as though it was a nothing.
Now look at the way he's built. He's got a low center of gravity, tough to knock down. If you're going to knock him down, it doesn't look like it's going to be a body shot that would take him down, but some solid shots to the head. I'm speaking of Heckley.
Yeah, Heckley's a real solid kid, low to the ground, stocky, well-built kid, a little bit like a trunk of a tree, and of course Heckley looks like the length of the tree. But what he has to do, Heckley, is to move in more, though. Being shot like that and stocky, and got great combinations. to put 4 and 5 punches together, not just land two punches and back off. He seems to be backing off after he lands a couple of good body shots. He's got to stay on top of his opponent.
We've seen some very, very impressive fighters. Jerry Gagliardi, Johnny's kid, impressed me in his first bout. He's a hot dogger. I like him. He's a showman. And also Christodoulou, who did away with his opponent, Whitehead, early on. We're in the 4th and final round now, Paulie. George Heckley against Chris Frank. Frank with his back to you. Frank with some combination there. He seems to be hitting them open-palmed, open-fisted.
Yeah, I've been noticing that, and that's bad. I think the referee should have warned him that, because with that tape and hitting that way can cut a man's eyes very, very dangerously. And he should be warned in that he's hitting with the laces and the tape of the gloves, and that is definitely against the rules.
Yeah, you keep that in the gym, huh?
That can cut the man's eyes very easily. It's like a slap, a whip slash with the tape, and I think there should be a warning on that.
Absolutely, that can be like a razor blade, like you said, when they're coming at 75 miles an hour.
Especially with the tape, it's very easy to cut. There's some beautiful body shots now.
Here's Heckley with his monthly statement for Frank now. The bill is due.
He just took a toll. He buckled him very well there, but he's got to follow up with it. He's got to stay on top of his opponent. And there it is. Beautiful.
Frank is now a marionette cut from his strings. He's lost, folks. He's on the bike.
Heckley's really putting him together now.
Man.
There it is.
Oh, Frank's just hanging on. Now he just shoves Heckley. He misses there. Frank coming back valiantly, throwing wild roundhouse punches, Paulie.
I give a lot of credit for Chris Frank. He's taking some tremendous punches. He's very hurt in there, but he's still trying to come back, and you got to give him credit for that. George Heckley has landed some great punches in there. He's just got to put a little more together to take out. He's got a game fighter in this guy, Chris Frank, and give him a lot of credit for standing in there and trying to fight back. That's what makes a great fighter, having an opponent that takes that kind of punch. We just saw 2 beautiful punches right there that Heckley landed on Chris Frank.
Just megaton bombs now thrown by Heckley. He is just measuring Frank, and as Paulie mentioned, Frank has weathered the storm here in a big way.
Oh, he definitely has. He's taken some serious body punches. As you just seen there, he buckled him right there. But he's got to get some punches up to the chin. He's weakened his body, but he's going to land on his chin. As soon as Heckley lands a good solid punch on Frank's chin, I think you're going to see Frank go down. But he has not landed a good solid punch to the chin yet.
So round 4, the 4th and final round of this pro middleweight bout. Frank now backed up, and he slips and falls. Mike Ryan quickly sends him to the neutral corner and will issue a standing 8 count.
Now you can see the weakness of those body punches. Frank's legs are real weak, and that's what happens in the body punch. Got his mind together, but his body is very weak from those vicious body blows that he's taking.
You mentioned that early on in the fight. They're all now. He's suffering from the body blows that he took in the first round. You're right, Paulie, because you can see his mouth is open. He's hanging in there, but he's tired.
His legs are all wobbly. His mind is together, but those body blows take all your ability there, your movement, your legs are buckling, and it's like falling asleep in there. And his mind is with him right now, but as soon as he gets hit upstairs, I think by Heckley, that you're going to see some real damage done.
Yeah, the attrition factor of those early body blows have taken their toll. That is the end of the fight. George Heckley versus Chris Frank. It's middleweight bout. We'll wait for the judges' decisions. Paulie, pros, night and day between the amateurs. I mean, this is vicious.
Oh yeah, there's the big difference when you're amateurs and pros. You know, pro fights are 6 and 5 rounders, or 4 rounders. Amateurs, they're 3 rounders, 2-minute rounds, and so they got to get in 10 minutes of boxing in a short moment of time, so they're a lot more wilder until they let you see the open class. Then the pros, they got to feel each other out. They got time to wait, time to figure their opponents out, and then land their punches.
George the Hammer Heckley by unanimous decision. You're right, Paulie. The amateurs look like pillow fights, and these two look like they're fighting with baseball bats. I mean, it's night and day. These punches, they come from a different time zone, it seems. Heckley there did a number on Frank. Frank, though, was a valiant fighter, Paulie. Does that frustrate you as a fighter when you're giving this guy every single thing you can, and he won't go down, he won't even wobble?
Well, the worst thing in the world is when you're hitting a guy your best shots, and as we've seen tonight, and Frank got hit some vicious punches, and not too many to the head, though. He got vicious body attack, and the body attack showed all the weakness and toll it took on Frank. But one thing I want to give Frank, a tremendous, courageous fighter he is, that he lasted through all those punches and gave a great fight and made it a great show. It takes a great opponent like that to make a great fight. You know, he wasn't only catching punches, he was delivering a little bit, but his game was to stay in there and not quit, and he showed all of that, and you got to give him credit for that type of his ability. and that type of a guy.